So what we're going to have a look at now is instructor accessing. So this course here has got a Niko rail. So if we imagine you're setting the ropes up in the morning, you drop a tracer, you need to be able to get up and resolve that issue. So we've got an ALF, so we're going to climb up on the ALF. We're going to talk through how we connect ourselves onto the Niko rail and then how we sort of go about doing our jobs. So I'm the first person to use the rail in the morning, so I'm just going to give it a little function check. So I'm going to pull down on one side, make sure it locks off, unlock it, pull down on the other side. I'm going to clip that into the full arrest point on my harness, give it a little squeeze check, and then we're going to go up. So I'm going to use the ALF to my advantage here. So I'm going to pull it above me and then lock it off just so it can take some of my weight. And then our Niko rail is tied up. So I'm going to untie the rail, and then before I attach to it, we need to do a visual inspection. So this rail goes around in sort of horseshoe shape. So I need to identify the ends and make sure that it's got the end stopper and the bolt that goes through. So I can see this one, I can see that one over there. I'm going to have a bit of a visual inspection of the brackets that are holding it up and just make sure it all looks okay. And then I'm just going to have a little look at the eyes. So I'm going to make sure the pin's in place, there's no excessive rust, and just make sure they move like freely within the rail. So just the same as our routine visual inspection of the ropes course, just making sure before we fully commit our sort of lives to that we're happy with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect my full arrest device, or lanyards rather, to one of the eyes. So I'm just going to go both into one. These eyes are the swivel eyes, so you can get a swivel and also a fixed eye. It's really important to note that only the swivels are PPE rated, so if you use the fixed eye, you need to have a swivel somewhere else in your system. And then finally, I'm just going to put my work positioning in. So what I've got is I've got my work positioning in one of the eyes and my full arrest in another one. Now I'm going to have to take my own weight, so there's a bit of a transition through. So what I'm going to do is unlock the ALF so it's ready for when I come back and detach from there. So once I'm disconnected from the ALF, I'm just going to nudge myself up a little bit, take my work positioning in, and then we're just going to swing through the gap. And now we're on the rail. So once you're on the rail, it's quite easy to just slide along. I can go along, do whatever job that I need to do. So if it's replace a tracer, which is probably one of the most likely things that would have dropped, I can do that. And then once I finish, it's nice and easy. I can just use the rail and slide myself back the way that I came. Just give myself a little bit of slack. There we go. Okay, so I'm still currently attached to the rail. I've maneuvered myself so I'm back next to the ALF. But what I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to take my own weight on the staples and I'm going to transfer my work positioning onto one of these staples, just so it gives me a little bit of a better position to get connected back onto the system. So I'm just going to take my own weight. There we go. Okay, so now I've got a bit of a more stable frame. So remember I locked the ALF, so we need to unlock it. I'm going to get myself clipped in back on that, give it a nice little squeeze check. Now I can remove my lanyards, so I'm just going to piggyback one. And then when you're leaving the rail, what I'm going to do is just tie it back up. Because this is the only access on this course, we want to make sure that it always stays on this corner. Just to stop it disappearing anywhere else. And then the last thing I need to do, I'm going to take my own weight, take my work positioning off, and we can descend.